Today, we explore something deeply personal. The final chapter of life. Not with fear, but with reverence. Because if you truly understand what it offers, you'll realize it can be the most beautiful part of your journey. A time for peace. A time for reflection. A time for love in its purest form. Let us take this journey together hour by hour, uncovering the wisdom, the power, and the beauty of our later years. Chapter 1, The Gift of Perspective. At 20, we chase. At 40, we build. At 60, we begin to see life in a way the younger years can't offer. Perspective is the greatest gift time gives us. You begin to understand what really matters and what never did. You stop seeking approval. You start seeking peace. You learn to cherish mornings. Not because they're productive, but because they are a blessing. You understand that every person has a story. You listen more, judge less. You stop rushing. Because you know time is not unlimited. Perspective makes ordinary moments sacred. Drinking tea slowly, watching the sunset, hearing your grandchild laugh. They become miracles, not routines. Chapter 2, The Power of Letting Go. To truly find beauty in your later years, you must learn the art of letting go. Let go of resentment. It only robs your joy. Let go of perfection. It was always an illusion. Let go of trying to fix everything. You realize now not everything needs to be fixed. Some things just need to be accepted. And most importantly, let go of the past. Yes, it shaped you. But it doesn't own you. Freedom isn't about youth. It's about emotional liberation. And that comes with age, when you finally stop carrying what was never yours to hold. Chapter 3, Relationships that Truly Matter. In your later years, you begin to see clearly that only a handful of relationships really matter. Not the ones that were convenient. Not the ones that were based on utility. But the ones that were based on love, depth, soul connection. Now is the time to nurture those bonds. Call your old friend. Hold your partner's hand a little longer. Write a letter to your children. Tell people you love them without hesitation. This chapter is not about building more connections. It's about deepening the ones that already exist. And sometimes, it's about forgiving those you never got closure with, because peace isn't about others. It's about you. Chapter 4, Slowing Down to Truly Live. The world told you to move fast. To always be achieving. To always be doing. But now you've earned the right to slow down. Slowing down is not giving up. It's waking up. You begin to notice the rhythm of your breath. The colors in the sky at dawn. The quiet miracle of just being alive. You no longer rush your meals. You no longer multitask your joy. You walk a little slower, not because you must, but because you choose to notice. This chapter of life whispers, stop trying to outrun the moment. Be in it. When you finally slow down, you realize that life has always been beautiful. You just never had time to see it. Chapter 5, The Beauty of Silence and Solitude. There was a time when silence felt uncomfortable. When solitude felt like loneliness. But in this final chapter, silence becomes sacred. And solitude becomes strength. You sit alone, and it doesn't scare you. It calms you. Because now, you understand, your soul speaks in silence. Your heart heals in solitude. The world is noisy. But wisdom lives in the quiet places. This is the time to journal. To walk in nature. To sit with a cup of tea, and simply be. In solitude, you reconnect with who you really are. Without the masks. Without the noise. And in that space, you find something extraordinary, peace. Chapter 6, Healing from the Past. The past, it stays with us. In our memories. In our hearts. Sometimes in our wounds. But now in this quiet season of life, you are finally strong enough to face it. Not to relieve it, but to heal it. You've carried old hurts for decades. Words that cut. Moments that broke you. Mistakes that haunted you. But today, you give yourself permission to forgive. Forgive others not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Forgive yourself because you were doing the best you could. With the awareness you had back then. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing to carry the past differently. You are not what happened to you. You are what you became in spite of it. And now, you are free to walk forward. Lighter than ever before. Chapter 7, The Joy of Simplicity. There was a time when success meant more. More money. More recognition. More things. But now simplicity feels like luxury. A quiet morning. A warm meal. A familiar face. A bird singing outside your window. These are the things that matter now. You no longer chase extravagance. You savor the ordinary. You take joy in hanging the laundry in sunlight. You find beauty in a child's laughter down the street. You've learned something most never do. That peace lives in the little things. And the less you need, the more you feel full. This chapter of life doesn't ask for more. It offers less, and that's what makes it precious. Chapter 8, Wisdom that only time can give. Books can teach knowledge. But only life teaches wisdom. In youth, you had answers. Now, you have understanding. You no longer rush to speak. You choose to listen. You no longer react. You respond. You see situations from both sides. You understand that people are rarely all good or all bad. They are complex like you. Time has taught you patience, compassion, resilience, and perhaps the greatest wisdom of all, that nothing is permanent. This chapter is not about knowing everything. It's about knowing what matters. And understanding that wisdom is not loud. It is gentle, steady, humble. Chapter 9, Making Peace with Mortality. This is the chapter many fear. The one we avoid. But here, we face it, not with fear, but with peace. You see, mortality is not the enemy. It is the mirror that helps you truly live. Knowing life ends makes each moment sacred. When you accept death, you stop wasting time. You forgive quicker. You speak kinder. You hold your loved ones tighter. And you realize something beautiful. That perhaps, this final chapter is not an end at all, but a return to peace, to light, to home. And so, you live these days not with dread, but with gratitude. Because now, you understand the value of each breath. Chapter 10, Giving Without Expectation. There is a kind of love that only age teaches. The kind that gives, without asking for anything in return. In your younger years, giving often came with hope. Hope for appreciation, for recognition, for something back. But now you give because it fills you. Because giving becomes its own reward. A kind word to a stranger. A smile to a caregiver. Time shared with someone who feels forgotten. These are your gifts now. You no longer give from ego. You give from soul. You become a blessing quietly, without needing anyone to see it. And that is what makes it powerful. True love doesn't keep score. It simply flows from a heart that has learned to soften, even after all it's been through. Chapter 11, Finding Purpose Beyond Productivity. For so long, your value was measured by your output, your career, your achievements, your busyness. But now that illusion begins to dissolve. Because true purpose has nothing to do with productivity. It's not about how much you do. It's about why you do it. Purpose can be quiet. Purpose can be small. It's in the way you listen to someone who needs to talk. In the way you offer wisdom to the next generation. In how you simply show up with presence and love. This chapter teaches you, you are still needed. Your story still matters. Your light still shines. Purpose doesn't retire. It simply evolves. And in this new version of purpose, you discover meaning that no job title ever gave you. Chapter 12, Gratitude for the Journey. When you look back at your life, you can choose to see the pain or the purpose. You can focus on what broke you or what built you. And slowly, as the years pass, gratitude begins to take over. You start to see that even the hard times taught you something. Even the heartbreak made you wiser. Even the failures shaped you. Every season had its reason. Gratitude softens the sharp edges of the past. It helps you remember with grace. You are not here by accident. You survived more than most will ever know. And when you look back through the lens of gratitude, your life becomes a masterpiece. Imperfect, yet profoundly beautiful. So say thank you. For the tears, and the laughter. For the losses, and the lessons. For the journey, and the growth. Chapter 13, Emotional Freedom is Real Freedom. In your final chapter, you gain something rare. Something priceless. Emotional freedom. You no longer care what people think. You no longer seek validation. You no longer carry shame, guilt, or fear. You speak your truth kindly, but clearly. You walk away from what drains you. You stop apologizing for simply being who you are. This freedom doesn't come from rebellion. It comes from clarity. You've lived enough life to know, not everything deserves your energy. Not every battle is worth fighting. And suddenly, you begin to feel light. Like a weight has lifted from your shoulders. This is the reward of age. Not just surviving, but thriving in your own peace, on your own terms. Chapter 14, Passing on the Wisdom. You have walked through fire. You have danced in joy. You have known heartbreak, and healing. And now it's time to pass it on. Not just facts, but wisdom. Not just memories, but meaning. Tell your stories. Share your lessons. Offer your insight. There is someone who needs to hear it. A grandchild, a neighbor, a friend. You don't need a podium. Just your voice. And your heart. You become the elder. The guide. The storyteller. And as you give your wisdom, you create something powerful, a legacy of light. Chapter 15, Embracing Your Legacy. Legacy is not built in a day. It's built in the quiet choices you made. The people you loved. The lives you touched when no one was watching. You may not have written books or built empires. But maybe, you built something far more important. A family that feels safe. A friendship that still endures. A moment of kindness someone never forgot. That is legacy. It's not in what you leave behind. It's in what you leave within. Your words, your warmth, your wisdom. They echo far beyond your final days. So live now with intention. Speak now with love. Be now with presence. Because your legacy is not someday. It is now. Chapter 16, Reconnecting with Wonder. Somewhere along the way, we stopped being amazed. We forgot how to marvel at rain. Or be thrilled by the stars. But now in this sacred chapter, you get to return to wonder. You watch a flower bloom, and you smile. You hear a baby laugh, and your heart softens. You feel the sun on your skin, and you give thanks. Wonder doesn't belong only to children. It belongs to the wise. Those who have seen the world, and still choose to find it beautiful. Now you know, you don't need more. You just need eyes to see what's already here. And in that, you rediscover the awe that once made life feel magical. Because it still is. Chapter 17, Living Fully in the Present Moment. The past has passed. The future is unknown. But right now, this breath, is yours. In youth, we rush to the next thing. But now we understand, the present is all there ever is. This moment. With its sounds, its silence, its breath. Is enough. You no longer count time by the clock. You count it by the quality of your presence. You become mindful. You become grateful. You become, here. And in doing so, you find something many spend their whole lives chasing. Peace. Chapter 18, Love the Lasting Force. When everything else fades, only one thing remains. Love. Not the dramatic kind from movies. But the quiet kind, the enduring kind. The kind that held your hand through grief. The kind that stayed when you had nothing to give. The kind that forgives. That listens. That sees you. In the end, it's not about what you had. It's about who you loved. And how deeply. Tell them now. Hold them now. Be loved now. Because love is not what we take from this world. It's what we leave behind. Thank you for walking this journey with us. May your days be filled with presence. Your nights with peace. And your heart with love. Remember, the final chapter of life can be the most beautiful. If you understand this. Until next time, from all of us at Life Lessons Legacy. Stay kind. Stay wise. Stay beautifully human. Fade to black. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more timeless wisdom. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Reading your comments give us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoy this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you for spending these moments with us. Stay strong, stay wise.